Today is Saturday, February 27th, 2016. I just got home from my uh, a second night of a 2-night ayahuasca journey. Um, Last night was super intense. I made a video about that. So tonight I was open to something less intense. Um, so I drank 30 milliliters to start, and for the first time, I had visions from the very first drink. Usually, it takes me the second or third to start feeling or seeing anything, but I had visions came pretty early, and they were unique in that often my visions are just like the kaleidoscopes, the machine elves, or geometry patterns. Um, but it's not with ayahuasca. It hasn't frequently been a specific image that comes through. But tonight, some specific images came through where it was like, okay, focus on this one thing that I'm showing you. So one thing that showed up was this ornate door gate, um, which I've encountered gates and doors pretty often in my in other psychedelic journeys, and they can look like all sorts of different things, and usually like it'll feel like I'm facing it, and like it's reading me, or like it's almost like being in a video game and like off screen, um, like something's happening, and it's like, and like often the gate or door will open, but not always. Sometimes it's like clear that I don't have whatever credentials or clearance to get through it, but it's like, so this was the first time I had seen a door or a gate on ayahuasca, um, but I couldn't get, or it didn't open. It just kind of wanted to show me the patterns on it, and just I stared at it and I was like, okay, let me in. And I was thinking maybe I need more ayahuasca or something to get in, but I don't know. It showed it to me a few times, so maybe I will get to interact with that again. And then the other image that came through was a face. It was like a dude um, that looked like some, like, I don't know, child's doodle come to life. Like it had a round head, and like it almost looked like it was made out of claymation. It had like eyeballs and like all these little, almost looked like flowy cacti that were growing out of it, and it was like had all these parts, but it was clearly like a face. And so I was just like, hi, and I introduced myself to it, and um, yeah, that was, I mean, that was kind of both those visions. Like, it didn't really feel like a conversation, but I was just shown them, and they made an impact, so it was cool. Um, but yeah, and I did get a ton of the kaleidoscopic visions, which I really enjoy. There's so much going on visually that it's like impossible to really see it all. And they look like cartoons, and I've been wondering a lot like why that is, and I have this theory that it's like that's as clear, like obviously there's way more information, but it's um like that's the clearest way that signal can come through to me right now, like with my technology or my receptors. It's like if you had a TV that can only that only has like rabbit ears, then you can only play a few channels, or you get, like a fuzzy signal, like you're not seeing the whole picture. So it's like it's clear that what's actually coming through is not cartoons. It's probably just uh, in some dimension that I can't perceive right now. But I saw um, more ribbons of this language that don't know what it is. I frequently see that. Um, yeah, so I was enjoying the mellow. I was just like getting lots of these visions, and I was thinking a lot. Just all sorts of thoughts, and I noticed that like I would notice that I was suddenly that I had been shaking or like doing this rocking thing while I was thinking, and so I would stop to come back to the present moment. And that happened multiple times. So I think I got a lot of like lessons in being present, and um, calling in some tools that I have for doing that, like running through your five senses, and what you can feel in that present moment. And yeah, that's an ongoing dialogue to come back. And I had to oh yeah, and I had a little jewel of wisdom that stuff like live music and live performance is a tool to enable a mass group of people to be in the present moment together, which can be powerful. I was peeing a lot, um, and I get really annoyed with having to maintain human functions sometimes, like eating and pooping. It just seems like inconvenient and inefficient. Like, shouldn't we just absorb nutrients by now? But so I was kind of annoyed, and then I was talking to my body. I was like, man, you sure do have to pee a lot. I don't know why. And then I realized that I was getting a UTI, or I felt one coming on, a urinary tract infection, which is, I am really sensitive to them, and well, I'm susceptible to them. So I can really tell when it's just starting, and the way to fix it, if it's just starting, is to drink a lot of water. So I went and grabbed my water bottle and sat in the kitchen and started forcing myself to drink water, which I wasn't really thirsty. I didn't really want to drink water. And also I don't think the ayahuasca likes for you to have really much in your stomach at all and not water, because I would drink the water trying to help the UTI, and then I would get these waves of nausea and really unpleasant, because I felt like it's kind of like fighting, or my solution was fighting the medicine. Um, and then around then, while I was drinking water, they had a last call, which is where they give like the last bit of medicine if you want some for the end of the night. And so I went and grabbed 10 milliliters more, and I just took it because it was offered. But then I sat down. I didn't drink it right away. I went and sat down with it, and really considered, like, why did I accept this? Did I take it just because it was offered? Like, do I have a reason that I want to take this? Because I'm having an experience right now. Like, what do I want to gain from this? And I didn't allow myself to drink it until I could come up with a good reason. And my reason was simply that I want to learn. I decided that was a good enough reason. Or yeah, I was open to learning some more. So I took it and I was trying to chug as much water as I could, but it was just I couldn't drink anymore. So I was feeling, weak, so I went and laid down, and then the nausea came up again and reached for the puke bucket, and I totally puked hard and long. I got my vomiting badge in Ayahuasca, which is like a rite of passage or something. And it felt really good. It was wanting to come out. My body was just clearly trying to move stuff, and so yeah, once that happened, I felt way better, and I had a lot of gratitude for my body on how it does just a thankless, nonstop job so efficiently, and that I can take it for granted because it's working so flawlessly usually. And I also had some insight that I'm not alone in this incarnation experience. Like it almost feels like I'm part of a group project, that there's a lot of invested consciousness or entities in my human experience, which is cool to feel that way. After I puked, man, the leaders were so sweet. Like, immediately took my puke bucket and gave me an empty and just like took care of me. And then I asked one of them if she could use the tuning fork on me, which is this low ohm frequency vibration, which I don't know, I was just really in the medicine and also like trying to calm down from the puking, and thought that it might help ground me. And so she came over and did the vibration on each ear, and that was really cool. All of the visions just exploded while that was happening, and I don't really understand it, but it was really cool to experience. And then after that, I felt like I made it through the purge. I felt way better, and I got to marinate on gratitude for the whole weekend and for a lot of things. I was thinking about all the tokens that I have of, like, my sweet friends know what I love and give me thoughtful gifts, and like I was wearing this blindfold that someone gave me, and I had a shawl that another friend gave me, and a little owl statue that somebody else gave me. It's just like I just suddenly realized all these tokens I have that are everywhere that remind me that I'm loved, and it was a good reminder for that, because when I'm in dark times, it's hard to remember that. And yeah, I feel really grateful for the experience, and I still have a lot of integration work to do. I thought a lot about the guy yesterday who had the difficult experience, and could feel, he wasn't there tonight, but we could all feel his presence. So it was, yeah, a really, really significant, beautiful experience, and now real work begins now. Thank you for watching.